About 34.8 million American kids have experienced trauma, which is almost half the amount of kids in the United States, according to the National Institute for Children's Health Quality. These children can be affected by a death of a loved one, a school shooting, or were physically or emotionally abused. As a parent, you may be wondering, how do I know if my child is traumatized, and how can I help them? Here are 3 signs that your child might be struggling with their emotional and social development due to trauma. The first sign is that your child has attachment issues. There are 2 common attachment styles: anxious and avoidant. If traumatized kids are anxious attachments, they might be too dependent on others and have fears of being alone and abandonment. If these children are avoidant attachments, they tend to have a hard time trusting people because abusers can manipulate their victims and put them in vulnerable positions. The second sign is that your kid struggles with emotional regulation. Young individuals with trauma might get triggered easily, which may cause them to have strong emotional outbursts. In addition, it can be difficult for children to express their negative feelings or needs, so they may choose to stay silent or disassociate in order to cope with their stressful emotions. The third sign is that your child suffers from mental health problems and disorders. Kids can have low self-esteem or feel shameful after going through a traumatic event. They may encounter post-traumatic stress disorder or eating disorders. Moreover, many young people who have experienced trauma become depressed, which can lead them to have suicidal thoughts. If victims do not receive proper help when they are young, they have high chances of being re-victimized, developing severe mental disorders, and engaging in dangerous activities like drug addiction or committing suicide later in life. If you are concerned that your child is suffering, here are 3 ways to guide them through their trauma. You should reassure your kid that they are safe to talk about their traumatic experiences. Your child needs a comfortable environment to express their unprocessed emotions, whether it be therapy or at home. You should explain to your kid that they are not responsible for their trauma. Several children feel guilty after experiencing traumatic events, even though it was out of their control. As a parent, you should have patience. All kids deal with traumatic events differently, so the healing process can be fast or slow, depending on the child. If your kid makes a mistake or is acting up, you should try to use kind words and be patient. Ultimately, a parent's job is to protect their child from any harm. Although you cannot reverse the effects of your kid's trauma, all that you could do is help them heal by looking for certain signs that they are struggling and providing them with the help that they need. If your child has suicidal thoughts, call 988, which is the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline.